What do you say to yourself when you walk by a man like this in the street? How do you feel when you see a homeless encampment? You ever wonder what it's like to be that guy? How could this happen? Why? What's going on? This is a documentary about homelessness and how easily it is to become just that. Hopefully, this will open your eyes and your hearts.
All right, today we're here literally less than a block and a half away from my home. We're in front of the Target here in Roanoke Park, California. And I've been noticing this van out here for a while. And so I stopped just to see if he tells us a story. And he agreed, so I'm pretty excited. And we'll see how this goes. All right. What was your name?
Adam.
Adam
Meltz.
Bruce. Adam Meltz. Nice to meet you. I really appreciate you telling us your story today,
No
man.
problem, man.
I just had a few questions for you, and like I said before, we're just trying to explain to people what is going on.
Yeah.
Why is this happening to people? What are the struggles you deal with?
Yep.
All right, Adam, how old are you?
42.
42.
Yep.
Okay. Are you from Sonoma County?
I've been here since 1993, but I was born in Santa Clara County.
So San Jose, basically Santa Clara.
Yeah, that's where I was born, and then I was raised in the East Bay for 13 years, and then I moved here with my dad when he bought a house in Lincoln Valley.
Okay. So tell me about your childhood. How did you grow up? Would you come from a big family?
No, it was actually just my mom, my dad, and my sister, my older sister.
Okay.
And then my mother and father, they couldn't really get along from day one, and so they ended up getting a divorce when I was 4, and so my dad left when I was 4. Then I went to live with my dad when I was 9, and or 10. I stayed with him.
All right, I'm going to cut in here real quick because I think it's important that we understand how important it is for families to stay together. Also, when they do split apart, how they treat their kids. You're gonna see. The tape's gonna get a little crazy. You're gonna hear some repetitive stuff going on, but I do that to emphasize what was going on. So
I know if I went with my dad, that I would have birthdays, Christmas, and a lot more freedom. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay. So dad was a little bit looser.
Dad was a little looser. He smoked pot at the time.
So you want to go hang out with fun dad instead of mom trying to get her shit together, basically.
Right. Yeah, and my mom was depressed a lot. And my mom was depressed a lot. She wouldn't talk about it. She wouldn't talk about it. She wouldn't talk about it. And she would cry and stuff, and that bothered me. She would cry and stuff, and that bothered me.
Do you remember how you felt when your parents got divorced? Like how that made you feel?
Yeah, I was kind of numb when I was only 4, and my sister was 7, and she kind of she kind of reassured me that it wasn't my fault, and then I kind of was just like, yeah, I know, but I really didn't, but I kind of was just numb to it in a way.
Did you feel like it was your fault?
No, I didn't. I never did. Okay. I don't think I did anyway. Not on my, not consciously.
Yeah. Okay. So you went to go basically stay with your dad, and you left your mom. Then that decision was left to you?
Well, yeah. Well, it was up to me and my sister. My sister chose to stay with my mother.
Okay.
And so then I went with my dad, and then it just got approved by the courts and stuff, and that was it.
Okay, so basically the whole thing, your sister went one way with mom, and you went with dad.
But we were in the same town.
Same town.
But I would only see my mom probably every other weekend or something like that, even though we were living in the same city.
Did you feel kind of guilty or something? Maybe?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Because you were with dad and you're not seeing mom?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. And how was your sister's relationship? How was you and your sister at that time?
Oh, we were close. We were close, and we've always been close. I didn't speak with her for a number of years.
Yeah.
But I didn't speak to I didn't speak to my mother or my father for a lot of years, at different times.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely in contact with my sister now. She's really neat. I love her a lot.
Okay, how was school for you?
School was hard. I was kind of semi-popular, but I was also I had ADHD or something. I don't know what I had, man, but I acted out a lot. I got in a lot of trouble, and I started doing drugs at a young age. You know,
How old were you when you started doing drugs?
9.
9 years old.
Yeah.
And what drug was that? Just out of curiosity.
Marijuana and
Weed.
cigarettes and alcohol.
Weed. And so your dad was okay with that?
No,
Or he wasn't cool with it?
no, but he was doing it himself. So it was like he kind of turned a blind eye to it at times, and he did that actually throughout my childhood. You know, where he would I would wear him down. You know, like I would wear him down. He would at first he would try to discipline me on something, and I was a bad kid and I had a lot of energy, and so I would just wear him down, and eventually he would just say fuck it and leave me alone.
Right.
Let me do my thing, you know.
You felt like you wore him down a little bit, huh?
Yeah, which you know, like looking back, you know, I've had some resentment about that, because I think sometimes, like, if he would have just been a little bit more vigilant or whatever, that maybe I'm not gonna, I don't hold on to that. It's a thought. more than
That's a
anything.
valid point. You
Yeah.
know, I not to interject my opinions, but you know, I believe fathers should be that strong, dominant, good, positive
I felt like he gave
role
up on
model
me a
for
little
you.
bit,
Yeah, you got to stop being complacent with kids. You got to stop being complacent with kids. You got to stop being complacent with kids nowadays.
Right.
And that's a big issue, you know, in a broken family, and all of this stuff
Right.
plays a factor, whether you believe it or not.
No, I know.
It really does.
Right.
Okay, so did you graduate? What about your friends at school?
Well, I played sports, and I had friends,
Mhm.
and you know, and I had like girlfriends and stuff like that. Not serious ones, but I was like friends with girls and stuff that I went to school with.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I wasn't. When I was a kid, where I grew up, they had this thing called the king of the school.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, this one time, this guy that was the king of the school, he started something with me, and I just kind of reacted. I was scared, you know, because I figured he must be tough, right? And so I just kind of reacted, and I just hit him a couple times, and then that was it. And then everybody after that was calling me the king of the school, and he was like, kind of got demoted, you know what I mean?
So you were the big tough guy at school.
Yeah, or something. But
And
then
you kind of grabbed onto that.
no, because then all the other kids that were tough wanted a piece of me, and so
So you grew. So then now you're defending your title.
yeah. Well, it was only for about a year or two, because I was in 5th grade when it happened.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as like junior high,
Uh-huh.
I started to get in a lot of trouble, and then I really would cut school most of the time, so I didn't really have much of a school career.
Okay. Did you graduate high school?
No, I dropped out of Santa Rosa High School in the 9th grade.
And how did your dad feel about that?
At that point, I'd already run away from home, so I mean, he didn't like it, but
Uh-huh.
he had like it was like a bigger picture and stuff. So
Were you completely? When did mom get? Was she still in the picture, mom?
yeah, and I went to live with my mom for a little while, actually, because I was homeless, you know, and I was like 15 or 16,
Yeah.
and I went and stayed with my mom. But at that point, I had already been out of school for so long, and I don't really know what my mom's reasoning was either, but she kind of was okay with me just kind of hanging out, and she would go to work, and I would just kind of hang out between 16 and 18, or 17 or 18, when I would have probably graduated. But then again, like I said, I was so far behind. I ended up getting my GED though. You know, when I was 18, I did that. So
But that's good.
yeah.
Okay. So 9th grade-ish, you're out of school, you're hanging out. Who were your role models at that time?
You know, I really didn't have too many role models. I didn't really have too many people to look up to, you know, really.
Mm-hmm.
I had this one older guy that we hung out with, me and some of my friends that were my age.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he was probably about 20 at the time, and we were like 12, 13. And we would hang out with him and stuff. And he had a car, and he'd run around, you know, and stuff. And we'd run around with him and stuff and do drugs. And that was pretty much my only role model.
Try to be older and cool and hang out and get
Yeah.
high, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you ever start to get your life together a little bit? Did you ever start to work?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
What happens from that point?
Well, at different times, you know, there was times when I got a job, and I would be living even in like a shelter, you know, and be working and doing pretty good and stuff. But I would always just I would end up having some issue, you know, like something would happen with another resident, or I'd butt heads with somebody that worked there, or I just wouldn't come home. You know, I'd want to do what I wanted to do, which was not come home that night, and that would be against the rules. And then there was a time when I actually got I got my act together well enough to where I got my own place. You know,
And
and I had
what
my
were
own
you doing
place.
for work then? Or?
I was learning how to be a plumber and a HVAC tech,
Okay.
and so I got pretty good at that. That was when I was doing my best. Actually,
Uh-huh.
was when I was doing plumbing, service work.
How old were you then?
I was 25,
25.
26.
So life's looking up.
Yeah,
You kind of dragged yourself out of the
right.
the little homelessness,
Mhm.
and you got your shit together. You're learning a trade.
Right.
I'm sure you're making some friends there too at your little
Yeah.
at the HVAC thing.
Yep.
And life seems okay.
Right.
And how's your attention, your mental health at this point? Is it okay? Your mental, you seem like a normal.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought it was. You know?
Okay. What does that mean exactly?
I think I was lonely, for one, you know, because I had different girls at that time that I saw, you know, but it was like, you know, one of them was just like purely a one night stand. One of them was a chick that I knew from before that really we already knew we weren't going to get together like that, you know, and so it was like I had some females, you know, in my life, but I didn't have any real love, you know, which is what I think I wanted. Most was
Right.
companionship,
Right.
real companionship, you know.
Absolutely.
And at that age, you know, you're at the right age to build something, start something, you know, get married, have kids,
Hmm.
and that didn't happen for me. So
So you started to get depressed about that.
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. So then what'd you do? What happened? You turned to drugs, or did
Yeah.
you?
That's what I always would do, you know.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind me asking, what drugs did you do?
At the time, I only did meth consistently, but I had tried heroin a couple times,
Mhm.
and I liked it, but I wasn't, you know, like I didn't know like the heroin crowd and stuff like that, so I wasn't really into that yet. So it was mostly just meth and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Some hallucinogens like
So
acid,
once you started dipping into the drugs,
Yeah.
trying to feel that loneliness,
right?
what happens after that? How long does it take before it gets bad, or do you survive? Are you functional? What's going on with you?
It got bad. It got bad fairly quick, you know, because I ended up getting in trouble with the cops. You know what I mean? So I got in trouble with the cops. I had a brand new car at the time, and that car got impounded. And I couldn't afford to get it out. It had everything I owned in it and that kind of thing. So then I was back at square one. And that was at the age of like 28.
Okay. So you got arrested,
Yeah.
and how long did you do?
Well, I got arrested a few times is what happened.
Okay. And for drugs?
Different stuff.
Different stuff. You don't have.
Some theft and or like robbery kind of things. You know,
Okay.
Burglary and drugs. You know?
Yeah, trying to support your habit at this time.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay, I got you. All right. And then so you obviously lost everything
Yeah.
at that point, right? You lost your cars,
Yep.
right? Your house.
Yep.
And now you're in the system.
Right.
So what do you do from there? You get released, then what?
Then I started living inside of the new freeway off ramp.
Because mom and dad's out of the question. It's over for you.
Well, no, because at that point I just pretty much I felt that it was my own maturity and my own integrity. I didn't want to go around them too much because
Your pride.
my pride. I didn't want them to see me in a position that I was in, but I also didn't want to ask for help because I felt like I was well past the age. You know what I mean? Where I was kind of like I was living my own life, and I didn't want to. I knew I'd end up asking them for money or something like that, and I didn't want to do that. And plus, I was a little bit estranged from my mother anyway, to where I don't even know if she wanted to talk at the time, but we didn't talk at all for a while because we had a falling out, you know.
I completely understand that.
Yeah.
So now it's at that time. Did you realize that? Fuck, man, I'm under a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And tell me about that emotion. Tell me what's going on in your mind right there.
It stunted my maturity a lot. It made me. It turned me into like basically. I was struggling to hold on to my own sanity, you know, in a lot of ways, you know, and so that made me. It regressed. It made me regress in my maturity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't acting like a 29-year-old man. I was acting like a 16-year-old kid. You know?
Okay. Were you afraid?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Not every day and not at all times, but I was afraid.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't have nothing, you know what I mean? And it was every time I got something, I would end up making a bad choice, or it would end up getting stolen. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or I didn't want to hump it with me, so I'd try to stash it somewhere, and I would just lose everything.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And you don't have no protection from the elements, and you don't have protection from people.
Right.
You know, you could be at your little spot, you know, where you're just kind of like, you're like, you know, alone, and you're actually kind of glad that you have a little bit of time to yourself, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, these like these loud fucking, you know, people come in and they want to take over and shit, and you never know, you know what I'm saying, and that gets to you, you know.
Right. So have you ever been assaulted or attacked by anybody while you're on the streets?
Yeah. So over, like, I was stabbed, you know, by this one kid that was a gang member, and I don't even know why that happened. I think it was because I was just by myself, and I thought they were talking about me, him and two of his friends, you know, and so I was like, what? I was like, you got a fucking problem or something? And then the kid came over, and I thought he was only punching me because it was dark out, right? But he had a little knife in his hand. I didn't even see it.
Okay.
So
it's safe to say it's pretty rough out here.
yeah, there's more stuff than that's happened. I've been
I'm sure probably stuff you can't even remember.
some stuff, but that was the two times I remember there was a weapon, you know, involved. So.
What is the most difficult thing as far as your basic needs go, being homeless?
Say it again, please?
What is every human needs basic needs.
Yeah.
A shower, clean clothes,
Right.
food, shelter, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the most difficult for you, other than we obviously know the shelter, but
Not having somewhere to just kick back and not be and not have to worry about anything really, like when you have a roof over your head and you can close and lock the door. I don't have that, and that's what I miss the most, you know.
So have you ever tried like the shelters around here or the camp? I mean,
Not for a long time. I haven't. I
Why
was thinking
not?
about it. I was thinking about it lately about doing it. I don't know. I just haven't done it yet. But I was thinking about doing it.
have you done it before?
Yeah, a long time ago though. Not for a long time.
And what deters you from those?
I don't know. I don't even really know. I just haven't. I don't know. Maybe it's just procrastination. Maybe it's that I don't feel that. Maybe I got a high tolerance for like I can take a lot of suffering. I guess I don't know what it is, but I just haven't gone. I'm not that desperate, I guess, to where I need it that bad. I guess maybe is what it is, or I don't feel that way.
Okay.
But I kind of would like to get it maybe possibly taken care of before that happens.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen,
Yeah.
and then be like at that mercy of the whether my timing's off or if it's not possible.
Did you ever feel like your life would end up like this? Growing up,
like what? Like when I was a teenager?
Yeah. Did you imagine this is what your life would end up like?
No.
No. Did you have hopes and dreams?
Yeah.
Explain those.
I wanted to be a baseball player. You know, I wanted to be a baseball player when I was real young. That was really all I thought about, and that was all I kind of would fantasize or project in my mind when I became an adult. I wanted to be a ball player. And then when I started playing guitar, at like 13. And then after that, I kind of saw myself as possibly being in a band, you know, and maybe and being famous and rich and all that. You know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Tell me about how the cops treat you out here in Sonoma County, being homeless, seeing you on the street. Do they know you? Are you familiar with you? Or
some of them do, some of them don't. But basically, I've been treated with a lot of courtesy and professionalism lately.
Really?
Here in Rohnert Park, especially.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why you choose to be in this area?
No.
Okay.
But it's coincidentally.
Okay, that's good. That's actually that's a really good thing. That makes me happy.
Yeah. In the past, I've had a lot less professionalism in the past, but
right. Yeah. Explain that.
Just, I don't know, just when you're obviously being profiled or harassed and stuff like that.
Explain the harassment.
Just at different times, you know, like in my 20s, especially in Santa Rosa by the sheriffs and SRPD, I had countless times where they just violated my rights, you know, or they would yeah, they would just do what they wanted to do, you know, whether or not it didn't matter what I did or said, you know, they would just kind of, they just would go with whatever it was their agenda.
Mm.
And so that ended up costing me quite a bit, but, you know, but,
If you had a magic button right now, if I had this button right here and I can push it for you and I can make your life the way you want it, realistically, you know, we're not talking about fairy taleistic. We're talking about in realist terms, in a realistic term. What would your life look like?
I'd have my own small business, and I'd have a wife, a couple kids, and a house somewhere like out in the country, on the outskirts of town. I'd have hobbies and stuff like that, and maybe a couple friends, people that work for me and stuff like that. A couple of my good friends.
Right. At this point, do you feel like those dreams it can be reality for you?
Yeah.
You do?
Yep.
You still believe in hope and all? You have all the hope in the world for that?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So if somebody was to help you now, but had some terms like maybe want you to get clean and sober, would you be willing to do something like that?
I'd be willing to hear it out for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Adam, I really appreciate you telling me your story, man.
Yeah, no problem.
And we're gonna get this out, and hopefully, some people can find it in their hearts to reach out and maybe bless you, God willing. If you don't mind, though, I believe in Christ. And I'm a Christian and stuff.
Yeah.
I like to say a prayer for you, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
You don't mind? All right. All right.
You want me to stay right here?
You stay right here, man. I'll do this.
All right.
Dear Lord, please come into Adam's life, come into his heart, give him some help that he needs, and make sure he gets safe and shelter and warmth, and let's change his life, Lord. And amen.
Amen.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no
Take
problem.
care of yourself, all right?
All right, bro.
All right. I really, really enjoyed doing this interview with Adam because it brings up some really good issues. How important it is for the family to stay together, how devastating it is on the kids. Also, his degree of loneliness. Just you could feel the sadness in his heart just by talking to him, man. And what surprised me the most is he still had a little bit of hope left, and those parts that I rewound and kept emphasizing on, and it just makes you think, man. It just hurts my heart to hear these stories, but I feel like they need to be told, and so people understand, and we kind of humanize, homeless people, because it's rough for them out there, and if we just keep turning a blind eye to them and treating them like trash, and man, it doesn't do nobody any good, man, and that's why I'm starting this GoFundMe page for these people that need the help, man. And I hope that you guys can find it in your hearts to maybe bless one of these guys. So I'm going to flash this GoFundMe page. Go to the link. When you donate, please emphasize which interview struck your heart, and please donate to that person. All you got to do is write it in the memos. Hey, I liked Adam's interview. I'd like to support him in this way. And then, boom, Adam will be supported. So, peace be with you, and God bless you.
For salvation, you must repent. And let me tell you about the rich man and the man they called a bum. The rich man, he had everything, the bum ain't have him none. Couldn't even eat the crumb that was crumbling off the plate. He was begging at the gates, it ain't my fault, this man ain't it. Get out my way, get out my face. Treated him like wasted space. I would never break no bread with you, how dare you say the way. The poor man name was Lazarus, the rich man spoke so blasphemous. He spoke to God's creation in the way that Satan lasted us. Passing up a chance to help another as a friend. For he who know what's right and don't do right, man, that's a sin. How dare you try to think that God will bless you with abundance just so you can have it all and leave your brother there with nothing. Hey, blessed will be your blessing. See, giving is important. You sacrifice for others in the way that is restoring. It's the flip side to the story. See, life can be rewarded. The poor man went to paradise, the rich man went to torment. So
you gave us the stars, you gave us the sea.
I give you my all cause I want them to see. So grateful for who you made me to be. Covered in his blood, there's no wrong in you. Times that I feel weak, I'm strong in you. And everything I have, it belongs to you. He's screaming, Abraham, Abraham. These flames are getting hotter. Hey, please go tell Lazarus, man, that please bring me some water. But these are the consequences. We're drowning in your vomit. It's a gulf that's fixed between us. He could cross it if he wanted. I know that I'm a wicked man. Please go tell my brothers, so they ain't gotta come down here, so they ain't gotta suffer. Remember, you was rich and Lazarus was poor. Your brothers got the same chance, man, the same way you had yours. You wanna be noticed, quit trying to be noticed then. You wanna be first, well you go stand at the very end. You wanna be elevated, it's time you go lower. These are the rules of the kingdom, this how we all begin growing. You said you wanna stay focused, then don't lose your focus then. Confess what you struggle with, ain't no need just to hold it in. The end is approaching, you see when life gets closing in. It's time for salvation, you must repent and be born again.